Hi guys, Puddin here with the game for you, my Tier 6 US destroyer, the Farragut. Now, my captain skills are going to be Preventative Maintenance, Last Stand, Superintendent, and Concealment Expert. Now, my modules will be Protect my main batteries, Fix the engine faster, Longer shooting AA, and a faster rudder shift time. Now, some of the reason you guys are saying this because, you see an awful lot of Hirakazi gameplay, and it always comes up the point when I say I get to dictate my engagements, and they're like, oh, what do you do with radar? What do you do against these? And all of that. Well, I think everybody forgets is one of the key things in being a destroyer is you kind of get to dictate when and where you fight and who you fight. And a very good place to learn this is with the US destroyer line. Japanese usually will always have the ability to stealth torp, so they just have natural concealment, while everyone else is kind of has to learn how to use natural concealment. As far as islands, you don't have the longest range torps. Usually, most people have some sort of ability to stealth torp. You do not get that, I believe, until the Mahan at Tier 7, while pretty much everyone else will get that sooner than the US. Now, as you can see in chat, I did my typical good game, wishing everybody luck. One guy's, being a little bit funny, and I'm sure he's going to come to regret the choice of him saying, you know what, come closer, because he can't hear us. Now, my biggest fear really is the Minakaze, but instead of backing off from these guys, I want to keep pushing in. This guy gets spotted, might as well open up with my guns because I have better guns than him, and I need to get this guy dead. It looks like our carrier is actually going to send planes in over, which makes me think that as soon as this guy does smoke up, he's going to potentially just sit in his smoke. Now, I do believe these torps are 6.4 kilometers. To be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure, but I do believe it's 6.4, and your detection is 6.6. So, the only way I am ever going to be able to stealth torp anything is if they are coming at me. I have to use that to my advantage. I have to draw them in. I have to suck them in to my torps. That torp strike actually did surprise me, because the last known position of the Minakaze was he was kind of going away from my torps, but luckily one of them does come home. Now, of course, I'm being a little bit funny in chat, asking the Tier 7 battleship, you know what, hey, did you hear that? Of course, it's mid and low tier, somebody's going to go down the mid because, you know what, YouTube, yay, thank you. Now, with all of that going on, I still want to maintain my presence over here because, one, two of the enemy destroyers are dead. We know one's on the other side. And really, there's nobody over here supporting the Texas per se. Now, I was sending torps out against the Nuremberg, but unfortunately, he's maneuvering due to, I'm going to assume, the Texas shooting at him and the other guys that are still kind of in our spawn due to the enemy destroyer sucking them back in. Now, I do have defensive fire. I see this Texas is coming under heavy fire, and with these planes coming in, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do what I can to keep this guy alive, because at the end of the day, I was kind of hoping this guy would survive, so I could smoke up and shoot stuff while he was spotting everything. He's got all those fires on him, so He doesn't last long, and there really isn't much left to spot over here. Might as well keep focusing on shooting down some of these planes because I did pop my defensive fire, and getting rid of their planes is always going to be a good thing, but it's because it's less things to spot. Me and my torpedoes, or pretty much just damage anybody else on my fleet. Not going to repair the engine because, well, I got last stand for that. The threat of them shooting me is really, it's gone. The planes have moved on. Turn my AA back off because there's no reason to keep it on to maybe potentially have it shoot at something that I wasn't paying attention to and get respotted, especially with a broken engine. Now, I am looking at the Furiataka or the Furiataka for my torpedoes. I am not looking at what the game is telling me, but what I'm going to do is keep making my way to this island because the Japanese cruiser there is going to keep pushing in. Now, I am trying to keep this guy spotted for as long as possible for my ally that is smoked up and is shooting him, but at the same point, I'm trying to set these torps up to hit the gentleman, and unfortunately, I'm going to get behind the island and unspot him. I was kind of hoping at this point that the battleship would be spotting the cruiser because he is shooting, and he should have been close enough to that smoke cloud. He gets respotted. I'm starting to take pop shots in on the I believe that's the French battleship, because you know what, he wasn't able to spot me, and I get to save one of my smokes for later. The Furiataka did an excellent job of dodging torps. Those were actually close to hitting him, and at this point, I'm like, well, I'm going to smoke up and start shooting this guy because for whatever reason, the other DD decided it would be a good idea to just stick in the smoke, even though this gentleman is rushing him instead of trying to get out of there. But I'm not going to slow down until the very last second to reverse. I'm going to maintain a quarter speed so I can get as big a smoke cloud as I possibly can. I'm not sure exactly what is spotting the cruiser, but I'm just going to keep plinking him to death because, well, in general, we just need this guy dead. We are losing on points right now. We are losing the ship count. I am the last destroyer alive. There's 2 enemy destroyers, but they are on the other side. There isn't much left holding this flank. I do believe the cruiser that is alive is AFK, so that really leaves myself and the battleship. I noticed I knocked out the gentleman's steering, and instead of ripple firing and having these guys potentially shoot in the smoke, I need to start getting my DPM working for me. I see the battleship. I'm trying to actually get a fire going in on him to get his DCP out, and then I was going to switch back to the cruiser. So as soon as I get a fire going on the battleship, I'm going to focus my attention back to the cruiser, because you know what, we just need to get this guy dead because we need to keep our battleship alive as long as possible. It looks like this guy's going in for the easy kill on the cruiser. I'm not sure, and I don't care, but at this point I just need to kill or do whatever I can to inflict maximum damage to the cruiser. I get a fire stuck on him. I'm dropping my torps. The guy is actually well within range of these torps because he is pushing into these torps, and surprised by me, there's planes. So there's no way that these torpedoes weren't spotted coming out of this smoke cloud. I take a massive hit from that battleship, but I'm just kind of hoping that one of these torps will come home. There's one torp hit with a flood also. I don't know why the gentleman in the carrier, the enemy carrier is bringing his planes so far away. Now, I did have the AP loaded in hopes that this guy was going to show some sort of sign. I have 10 seconds till I get my smoke back. I see that. I see his torp planes. We're still to the south. So I'm thinking, you know what, it wouldn't be the smartest thing to smoke up immediately at that point. But at this point, I need to slow down, smoke up, to survive as long as I can against this battleship because he's shown a willingness to shoot at me. I turned my AA off and I'm not shooting because I don't want to give any indication to the carrier where I exactly am. I'm actually trying to give my carrier some sort of time to get his fighters over here to deal with them. I only send one set of torps because I knew this guy was going to turn. I'm using this last set. I'm saving it for as long as possible. Pretty much right about when he's going to spot me is when I want to drop him. I get within the assured acquisition, which is 2 kilometers, as I nail him with the torps. Now, this is the guy who said he couldn't hear me, that I needed to come closer. Well, can you hear me now, buddy? Now, I'm not exactly sure where the New York is, what the heck the New York is doing. Luckily for me, the enemy CV brought his torp planes away from me. If I was him, I would have taken a chance and just dropped him in on me, but I'm sure he was counting on the battleship to potentially finish me off. While all of that was going on, our team has pulled it together, started taking out the enemy ships, but for the most part, that leaves myself on this flank alone. But I'm not too worried because it is a New York. The cruiser is within spotting distance of all of these guys. I will take shots in on this guy to potentially kill him, but I saw he was on fire. Would have been a waste to give my position away to the enemy battleship. DD's on the other side playing with my battleships, but our carrier's going in to support him. I don't know why you would ever reverse into New York unless you ran aground. I mean, because it's going to take forever for that ship to go. I was kind of hoping he would have been a little bit closer, but I sent those torps more or less as a preemptive strike, just in case he was coming that way. Unfortunately, he reversed. He has been reversing for, well, quite a distance. Now, I'm not sure what the enemy carrier is going to do, but he's got to know that I've got defensive fire. I might not be the best target for him, but still, him being able to keep me spotted would have helped out this New York a little bit more. I do believe I have a brain fart in that I kind of forget what my torp range is here, but I'm still leaving the indicator on this guy, and at this point, this is what I noticed: he's actually pulling forward. Now, this is the nice thing about the U.S. destroyer line, is you really have to be sneaky and outsmart your opponents on being able to stealth torp. You have to use islands for concealment to come up and do an island ambush on them in order to get your torpedoes to work. I am just hoping that this New York gets enough speed to make up the 1 kilometer distance for my torpedoes. I'm just going to try to keep this guy spotted as the first set misses, but the second set does come in. I see that his engine's out. And what I'm going to use is pretty much my knowledge of the game mechanics to my advantage, and use it against the New York. I'm going to use this island to get in as close as possible. I need to use natural concealment to get in. I was doing that as soon as I saw he was coming forward, because I knew my torps would be reloaded in time, and I want to set up for the island ambush. Now, the New York is going to do it, is going to play it smart. He's not going to push this corner. He knows I'm a destroyer, he knows I got torpedoes, and I do believe he knows I'm trying to set up an island ambush on him. If he would have kept coming and pushing this way, I would have been spotted a little bit sooner, but this guy clearly would be dead. I'm going to slow down and actually smoke up because he just shot. He has a 20-second debuff to his detection, even though I am in smoke. So I'm just going to sit here and blink him to death. And at this point, I really should have asked the CV to come over to spot for me. Keep this guy spotted, because he does go undetected, and then something spots him. I don't know what. I do believe it is a plane, but these torpedoes are going to come home. And I do get the fire, I do get the flood, so luckily one of my torps hit. I do believe it is a plane spotting the gentleman, as I noticed the fighter down there, which is why I really didn't type anything in chat, because our carrier was actually paying attention to what was going on. I let these guys know, hey, this guy's burning, he's flooding, he's dead, there's no need to worry about it, there's no need to really come back and deal with this guy. Second flyer guaranteed. And now the post-battle results. Now, I hope you guys did learn something, and remember, just because you do see a lot of higher tiers from us, you do learn everything at the lower and mid tiers. To answer your question about how do you deal with Hydro and Radar, you just have to be a sneaky bastard. You have to pick and choose your engagements, and you get to learn that in the mid and lower tiers. I think the US DD line really stresses that out an awful lot. Now, I hope you guys did learn something. I hope you did enjoy this video. We do appreciate all the support you guys do give us. We do love the replays you guys send in. The email for that is in the description down below. Please remember to compliment good teamwork, good team play. We are quick to report, slow to compliment. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and have yourselves one heck of a great day.